Chapter 5 Pass the Damn Salt, Please. Read by Dan McLaughlin. Written by Dan McLaughlin. Chapter 5 First Date. "Oh, there you are," said Riley. "Sorry, am I late?" said Rachel. No, not at all," said Riley. "It has been ages since I last went bowling," said Rachel. "I know I might have mentioned a lunch, but I figured since you were a super secret special spy and all, the sounds of the bowling alley will shield us from any of that surveillance stuff," said Riley. "You figured that out all on your own, did you?" said Rachel. "Well, when I say figured, I mean it was an old Mission Impossible episode I saw, and honestly, I am in the bowling for the shoes. I have always felt that nothing says quality to a lady more than wearing red and black shoes that slide on wood," said Riley. "Yeah, those dingy white soles really do catch a girl's eye," said Rachel. "Not to mention the shoelaces," said Riley. "Shall we go and pick out balls?" said Rachel. "You took the words right out of my brain. So, what color bowling ball are you? Oh, she, the purple merry-go-round? Oh dear, I had hoped you had forgotten that," said Rachel. "That is something a guy does not easily forget. But onto the ball," said Riley. "Good Lord, look at all of them," said Rachel. "All the colors of the plastic rainbow," said Riley. "Not to mention all the possible swirly thingies, color combinations. Now shall I go all conservative and choose a dark, solid color?" said Rachel. "Okay, you could play it safe," said Riley. "Bowling is a sacred right," said Rachel. "Practice in red and black. Use shoes with accompanying big blocky shirts with monogrammed names," said Riley. "If you are lucky. Nice shirt, by the way," said Rachel. "Thanks. My name is not really Buddy," said Riley. "Yeah, I know. It's really Riley, said Rachel. I had hoped you had forgotten that, said Riley. Not a chance, but still, it's a nice shirt. Now, back to the choice of ball. I gotta admit, I am more going in the direction of that pink and purple swirly baby, said Rachel. In for a penny, in for a pound, being the thought behind the action, said Riley. I mean, if you are going to go bowling, you should just go ahead and do the whole thing, right? Said Rachel. Absolutely. Me? I am going to just go there with this here black one, said Riley. The conservative black one I passed on. You bastard, are you messing with my mind? Said Rachel. Let the games begin, my friend. Let the games begin, said Riley. Now, as I understand it, the point is to roll the ball down the wooden thing, said Rachel. Lane, said Riley. And knock down all those pear-shaped things, said Rachel. Pins, said Riley. And there is all that math thing, said Rachel. Strikes and spares and carry the tens. Don't worry, I will keep score. And the point is to knock down the most pins. So, who goes first? Said Rachel. Please, you go first, said Riley. And the point is to knock down the most pins. So who goes first? Said Rachel. Please, you go first, said Riley. Oh, look, my ball is broken. It has holes in it, said Rachel. Uh-huh. There is where you put the fingers in. No, move them over one, said Riley. Like this? Said Rachel. Yeah, go ahead now, said Riley. She rolls a strike. Oh, goody, a striker. That's good, isn't it? Said Rachel. Uh-huh. Let me guess. This is the first time you've ever bowled, said Riley. Why, yes, it is, you big manly man. Laughter. Well, maybe the first time since I spent every weekend in high school on a bowling team that took the state championship 3 years running. Then there was intramurals at college. Then the bowling league at work, said Rachel. I have the distinct feeling I've been hustled, said Riley. Let's just say I can keep score in my head, said Rachel. And you were last in high school a few summers ago, said Riley. Okay, that is extremely delusional, but in a very kind way, said Rachel. Sometimes you have to be kind to be kind, said Riley. In the right measure, said Rachel. Kind to be kind, said Riley. It's a very good sign, said Rachel. On the other hand, sometimes being cruel is just, well, cruel, said Riley. Not kind, said Rachel. In no kind of measure, said Riley. Cruel is just cruel, said Rachel. It's a pretty clear sign, said Riley. Baby, cruel is just cruel, said Rachel. It means that I despise you, baby, said Riley. When you are cruel, you're just cruel, said Rachel. Twang a twang twanga a twang twang, said Riley. I think that was an earlier draft, said Rachel. And I don't see that version ever climbing to the top of the charts. Although I do like the twang part, said Riley. Absolutely. It's your turn, said Rachel. I beg your pardon, said Riley. It is your turn to bowl, said Rachel. You sure? Said Riley. Really, Riley, it is your turn, said Rachel. You are having way too much fun with that, said Riley. Really, Riley? I can do this all night. Remind me to thank your parents if I ever meet them. At any rate, you'd better bowl, said Rachel. Gutter ball. Nice use of the entire lane, said Rachel. You know I did that on purpose, said Riley. Uh-huh, said Rachel. I didn't want to make the whole math and adding thing too much of a chore for you by giving you actual numbers. Zeros are so much easier to add, said Riley. Uh-huh, I think I can handle it. Go again, sport, said Rachel. Another gutter ball. Laughter. Okay, I can explain that one too, said Riley. Go ahead, hotshot, said Rachel. First of all, I would like to point out that I used a completely different gutter in that shot rather than the previous one. Logic dictates, therefore, that if I merely average those two shots, I will get one of those tenny thingies, said Riley. Uh-huh. Is there a second of all? Said Rachel. Oh, you betcha. I am just getting warmed up, said Riley. Verbally, maybe. Bowlingly? No. Bowlingly? Said Riley. It's a word, said Rachel. bowlingly, said Riley. It's a word, said Rachel. In a game of Scrabble with your family who may love you, maybe. Englishly? No, said Riley. Laughter. Okay, what is your second point? Said Rachel. It's so simple, I am surprised a super spy such as yourself does not recognize it, said Riley. Englishized it, Riley, said Rachel. Well, I am just luring you into a false sense of security, said Riley. Laughter. Okay, you hold on to that thought while I go again, said Rachel. Another strike. Now, Hotshot, explain to me how this false sense of security argument works in bowling, said Rachel. Well, see, you get this false sense of security because while it looks like you're cleaning my clock, said Riley. Yes, and while I build up a big lead in points, said Rachel. Yes, exactly. And then when you get overconfident, said Riley. Because I have this big lead in points, said Rachel. Yes, we've established that. So, there you are, cruising along, thinking you have this thing won, said Riley. Because I have, said Rachel. Okay, well, let me take my turn and I will explain it further, said Riley. Gutterball. Laughter. Okay, now on the plus side, I would like to point out the ball stayed on the wooden part, said Riley. The lane, said Rachel. Thank you. The lane. It stayed in the lane much more longer this time before it went in the gutter, said Riley. Congratulations. Now roll again, said Rachel. Hole in one, said Riley. That's golf, hot stuff, clubs, smaller ball, outdoors, said Rachel. Right, of course, thanks. 9-ball side pocket, said Riley. That's billiards, Einstein. Cue stick, ball bigger than golf, smaller than bowling. Indoors, but on a table, said Rachel. Crap. So what is it exactly I am shooting for here, said Riley. You? I'd say a 1, said Rachel. Okay, 1. Pause. Not a hole in one, said Riley. No, just 1. Trust me. Now roll, said Rachel. Okay, 1, said Riley. 1 pin is knocked over. Laughter. Yes, said Riley. Congratulations. And you are quite right, said Rachel. I am. In what? Said Riley. Yes, I am feeling quite secure now, said Rachel. Yes, but it is a false sense of security. Your turn, right? Said Riley. Yes, said Rachel. Another strike. All part of the master plan. You are playing the part of the dupe to perfection, said Riley. By my winning 30-1, said Rachel. That's what the score is? Crap. I mean, of course. My turn. Yes, said Riley. Go ahead, said Rachel. Okay. 1, said Riley. 1 pin is knocked over. Same pin as before. Laughter. Now, are you feeling nervous? Said Riley. 30-2. I don't think so, said Rachel. Let me explain. Knocking down 1 pin 1 time could have been just luck, said Riley. Clearly, said Rachel. Doing it twice means it's replicable, and if it is replicable, that means I could do it again, and again, and again. Feeling nervous yet? Said Riley. Oh, you bet, science boy. You rolling a series of 1s has me shaking in my shoes. Roll again, said Rachel. O ye of little faith, said Riley. Gutterball, laughter. And 3 times makes it science. Clearly, I have perfected the gutter ball as part of my bowling repertoire, said Riley. Clearly, you know there are professional bowlers who don't throw that many gutter balls in an entire season as you have managed the first few frames here today, said Rachel. Clearly, I have nothing but the highest level of respect for the modern professional bowler. But the lack of the strategic use of the gutter ball in the modern game has to be of concern to the true purists of the sports. Traditionally, the great leveler or psychological monkey wrench of the sport, the gutter ball, in the modern game is seldom utilized, said Riley. And I suppose you have a theory that explains this, said Rachel. Oh, yes, several, actually. Imagine my surprise. Care to share? Said Rachel. Not at all. One is the technical difficulty of a well-thrown gutter ball. You have to work very hard to do a proper gutter ball. And clearly, the modern professional bowler does not want it bad enough. You have to put in a lot of work in the off-season non-conditioning to be able to roll a gutter ball on demand. It's clearly not like in the old days when there was a definite on and off season. Remember, both the mental and physical requirements have to be working in peak tandem to bring together a streak of gutterness like this, said Riley. So you just can't expect to walk up and throw a gutter ball every time, said Rachel. Oh no, said Riley. Wouldn't the modern professional bowler point out that the goal of the modern professional bowler is to score more points than his or her opponent, and that a gutter ball gains no points? There is no earthly reason to want to roll a gutter ball, said Rachel. Only professional bowlers with no knowledge of the history of the game. Remember, it was the gutter ball which won the Lesser Pasadena Bowling Classic for Claude Bogard in 1963. It was the gutter ball which won the Greater Visalia Open for Isaac Cole in 1954. And let us never forget the role of the gutter ball in the victory of O.F. Waterhouse in the more or less middling Rancho Cucamonga Invitational 1961 through 1963, Riley said. So what you are saying is that you have to make sacrifices to attain this level of achievement with the gutter ball, Rachel said. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself and claim that I am anything close to being a champion of the gutter. Bowling is just a game of one frame at a time, and what the great gods of bowling can give with one frame, they can take away in the next. Sometimes that gutter seems as wide as the Grand Canyon, and the ball practically leaps right in. Then, in the next frame, it is the size of a straw, and there is nothing you can do to get the ball in. Sure, with technique, you can keep the good times going a little while longer and cut down on the bad times. But bowling is a game of streaks, no doubt about it, said Riley. What has been your best moment as a gutter ball roller? Said Rachel. Gosh, really, Rachel, that is like asking Who is your favorite child? I remember the time my dad first took that darn bumper thing out of the gutter and I got my first gutter ball in the very next roll. And everyone all came over and congratulated me. There was my first gutter ball on the professional circuit in Tulsa in 1983. And then there is the current record-threatening tear that I am on right now. But I think the gutter ball that meant the most to me was in the Cedar Falls last winter. It was a charity event for handicapped kids who were also orphans and Katrina victims, and I was not even the one rolling the gutter balls. It was those kids, those darn brave kids, those darn brave, plucky kids. Do I manage to add courageous? Said Riley. That's implied with brave, said Rachel. Meaning, no, I do not need to add? Asked Riley. That is correct, said Rachel. Okay, so it was those darn brave and ... said Riley. Plucky, said Rachel. Plucky, thank you. Plucky kids who kept rolling those gutter balls that really brought home how lucky I was to be in a sport where anyone can be the same as long as they have the courage to roll, and to live in a country where the handicapped kids are free to roll a gutter ball and other people will pay good money to watch courageously brings a tear to my eye even to this day, said Riley. A truly affected moment here with a professional bowler. Really, Riley, said Rachel. Don't you mean affecting, Rachel? Said Riley. No, I'm good with affected. And we will be right back with more fourth frame action here at the Banana Dana Dome right after these messages, said Rachel. There followed a very enjoyable game of bowling. Final score 185 to 28, followed by an incredibly comfortable meal. End of chapter 5. Pass the Damn Salt Please by Dan McLaughlin. Read by Dan McLaughlin.